China's population is falling for the fourth straight year, ladies and gentlemen. What does that mean? What could it mean for you? I don't know. So that's why we're going to get into this article. That's why I'm going to read it to you. According to the latest official data released this week, in 2025, the country's total population dropped by 3.39 million people, bringing it down to 1.405 billion. That's still... Bro, that still sounds like a lot to me. That's a faster rate of decline than the previous year, and it marks the continuation of a worrying trend that began around 2022. More deaths and births drove a bunch of shrinkage. Funny word. With 11.31 million deaths recorded against the 7.92 million births. Lowest number of newborns since the records began in 1949. 1949? I mean, I guess America didn't really have records until like the 1920s, 30s. Even in the 1950s, people would still be like, iffy about if you did an at-home birth, your dad maybe wouldn't get into town to report it for like another couple days. I'm just going to be honest with you. So birth records, even up until the 50s, 60s, are still just kind of iffy, unless you were born in a hospital. That's just kind of the realness about it. The birth rate also has hit a historic low of 5.63 babies per 1,000 people. In 2025, a sharp 70% drop from 2024's already low figures. I mean, they're just not into it. Mao destroyed the interest. You know what I mean? Well, actually, no, it's not. I'm not going to blame Mao, because originally his idea was that in order for China to thrive, it needs a growing population. So he actually encouraged the Chinese people to have as many babies as possible. And then eventually, he died of ALS eventually, unfortunately. God rest your soul, Mao. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's very sad. Eventually, they inherited the one-child policy, and it didn't go very well for them. They didn't, everybody kind of remembers the era of, like, scary documentaries they were forced to watch in the classroom where, moms, they were clutching their second child, and then the government would break in and either demand money or drown the baby in a river or something. Or that's the thing, is that male dominance is still just kind of a thing over there. Oh my God, you want to talk about sexism in the United States? Let's talk about the Asian world, because it's ridiculous, where you can literally buy, like, I know you can buy women over here and sex trafficking is bad, but man, in China, it's like they got vending machines of women. They got the women already naked in like pressed wrap with like plastic and stuff, and then you hit I want B9, and then the women, they're like screaming, and then they fall down, and then you and your buddies just like pull it out. It's terrifying over there. I'm not saying like this is a good thing. I'm saying this is what they do. I'm saying this is a cultural thing. You know what I mean? I'm saying that this is a culture of like vending machines where you can buy panties. You know what I mean? It's efficiency, but it's also perversion. And I don't know, I'm just telling you the news. That's all I'm telling you. I'm not saying whatever it is. Experts point out also that this level is roughly comparable to the number of births since the 1700s, when China's population was far smaller, around 150 million. Despite aggressive government efforts to reverse the slide, including financial incentives, subsidies for child rearing, or even fully covered medical costs for pregnancy and fertility treatments, the number keeps heading downward. Damn, that sucks for China. High living costs in cities, youth unemployment, economic pressures, changing attitudes towards family are all playing cost and a big role in why young couples are having fewer children or none at all. I mean, admittedly, what's the interest in China anymore? Do you want your kid to work at the Temu factory? Do you want your kid to, I don't know that people in China care about their children very much. They might not. And admittedly, they might look at us and they might go, I don't think people in America care about their children very much. We don't. Have you seen Euphoria? It's like a pretty accurate depiction of what goes on in most suburb high schools and whatnot. If your town has more than 5,000 people in it, watch Euphoria. It's what's happening to your children at their high school. I'm sorry. It's just it's accurate depiction. But in China, it's like different. You know what I mean? It's much less kind of a freedom, I'm my own individual energy. It's much more, you're going to do your hair like everybody else. You're going to style yourself like everybody else. Individualism is going to be programmed out of you at an early age, which, I understand that. That's kind of their culture. That's their heritage, and I respect that. You're going to be a unit of production. You're going to be a product that is going to make Shein dresses, and then you're going to have 16-hour days. And admittedly, I know that sounds like a lot, but that is still 8 hours where you still get to be free, you get to do whatever you want. And then you'll spend 4 of those hours with your girlfriends, you know what I mean? You'll be like hanging out, maybe at a cafe where you're gonna get, you're gonna get leered at by some creepy old guys that are eating miso soup or whatever. And then you and your girls, you're gonna get on like the express train, the fast rail, the monorail, the kind that Gavin Newsom failed to, fucking make in California. That you're going to get on that monorail and then you're going to be groped by that same elderly man because admittedly, God, the sexual harassment in the Asian countries, whew, it is rough. It's bad. And then you're going to get to your not your hotel, your little pod, apartment that is kind of, it's about the size of like, the bathroom of a hotel room at like a Super 8. That's about the size of your actual, that's your house. That's the size of your apartment. And then you're going to have like a little dog, you're going to have a cat, whatever. You're going to have lo-fi music playing with like LED music, not LED music, LED lights and like maybe a lava lamp. And then you're going to have your 1 by 1 foot window where you get a view of the air shaft and it's beautiful. And that is the kind of vision for a lot of people in China, and that's why a lot of them are going, why the fuck would I have kids? Why would I condemn them to a life of what I'm already living? And, I'm just saying, kind of the vision in China, it's either to get rich so that you can build a skyscraper high enough to escape the slum that you are building yourself out of, and then you live on that skyscraper and you drink your matcha and you look down and you're like, ha ha ha, I escaped. I made it up. I literally built up out of all of you. I can't get out because Beijing is already so fucking full. So we all got to build up. If we want to avoid the poor people, we got to build up. That's what the future is going to be. The 22nd century, the 20 whatever century is going to be just the rich people building as high up as they can, as high in the sky as they can to avoid the mess they've created on the ground. And it's within line within their behavior. We can track it. It's why they want to go to space. It's why they're sending the richest people among them into the atmosphere because they want to escape. They want to get away. And that's understandable. Because we're all going to be burning in hell. This will be hell. We're all the demons. We are the demons that they fear. The ongoing decline is raising serious alarm for China's future. Let's go ahead and let's address this ABC News clip, ladies and gentlemen.
And new numbers show China's population falling for the 4th straight year. Beijing has been trying to encourage more young people to marry and have kids, but that doesn't seem to be working. Now the UN estimates China could lose more than half its current population by the year 2100. ABC foreign correspondent Britt Clinton has the details from Hong Kong. Hi, Britt.
Diane, demographic alarm bells are really ringing in China now as its birth rate collapsed in 2025 to the lowest levels since the Chinese Communist Party took over in 1949. Now that's 5.63 per 1,000 people last year, despite a whole host of incentives that have been rolled out by the Chinese government, including a subsidy scheme which involves giving each year for one child $1,530.
How bad does your country have to be to where you can't pay people to fuck? You can't pay people to do that. Like, it's stunning. I don't know. Like, all the young men, they're like, I'm just going to trade Bitcoin until I can afford to buy some woman off the street. I'll be running with my posse outside a nightclub called Bingjing Zhao, and then I'll point at some girl and I'll be like, this is the Bingjongcha, which means that one. And then they will grab her, they'll bag her up, we'll throw her in the van, and she'll be my wife. And then she'll tell our kids that story, and they'll tell their friends at school that, and that will be like culturally normal.
The Chinese government has also raised taxes on contraceptives. That was a move criticized by some as causing a spike in unwanted births and potentially leading to a spread in sexually transmitted diseases too. China did begin relaxing the one-child policy in 2016, but really it struggled to convince young people to have more than one child. And that's really adding to weight on a country already facing an aging population and sluggish economy. China also moved to make it easier to register for marriage and harder to get divorced. The total population in China, though, it has fallen for the 4th straight year. Last year, 1.404 billion. That's 3 million less than the previous year, Diane.
Yikes.
All right, Britt Clinton in Hong Kong for us. Britt, thank you.
I mean, I thought white people couldn't procreate in their own countries, but damn. Damn. I mean, that just sucks. That just sucks for China. I don't know what else to say. This ongoing decline, I'm worried for China's future. The population, it's aging rapidly. There's a population of people over 60. It's now about 23% of the total. That's more than 320 million individuals. I mean, you gotta, if you're the sandwich generation, you know, the generation of people where your kids have moved out of the house, or maybe you're bringing kids up, or your parents are old, and then your parents are old and you got to take care of them. That's what we call a sandwich generation. And that's going to be a lot of people in China soon. It's going to be a lot. They're expected to grow even faster. A shrinking workforce could also strain pensions, healthcare, and the economic growth as fewer working age people are supporting a larger elderly population. It's nerve-wracking. Beijing is already starting to raise a retirement age gradually and pouring resources into pro-family policies, but demographers warn that the challenges could persist for decades, potentially reshaping everything from the economy to social services in the world's second largest economy.